Hello, this is April Chan. I am the General Manager CEO for the San Mateo County Transit District. I have been here at the district now approaching 23 years this coming April. Well, the month itself, what it means to me is celebrating the many works and successes that women had brought to all of us. It's really celebrating, I think, the successes and the struggles and challenges that women had gone through and learning from our past. I think that's really important, and just really understanding each individual, what they have contributed to what we have today. What's really inspiring, it's, being able to follow the footsteps of really a lot of my predecessors. Also being an immigrant and a minority, I think it adds to the challenges, not only being a woman, but the struggles that I have to go through. I'm just very happy that I'm able to not only be able to impart a lot of the lessons I've learned and how I can inspire the next generation, whatever maybe, struggles that they're going through. I'm just happy that being sort of in a pretty special place and special space in terms of what I have gone through, and I can share some of those and help to move the next generation of women leaders, especially anyone that, may have very similar background as myself. When I first got into it, it wasn't so much like, oh, I'm a woman and I have to kind of figure out to find my voice. I've always sort of, knowing that I just need to do my best, and I will be able to do and show others that it doesn't matter what sex you are or, what gender you are. As long as you are good at what you're doing, you will be able to excel. And that's sort of like the mindset I generally have. It's really how to really finding yourself and making yourself, really showing others what you have achieved and what you have done. It really doesn't matter what your gender is. That's one of the things that I always tell myself. Now, I do recognize that, as a woman, I probably have to take maybe a longer path, or I have to do a lot more to demonstrate that I can do all of these things. But I have to say that a lot of the people that have helped propelled me sort of where I am today, they're also my male supervisors, my male bosses. They believed in me. I'm able to kind of be in the place that I am today. A lot of my colleagues, because I'm able to demonstrate that I have just the same ability, and perhaps in certain places even better than they are, I think they pretty much show me a lot of respect in the space that I am in. So I think the most important thing is to have the courage to do it and be the best that you can be, and people will show you respect. At least in my case, that that I have done that with both my peers as well as people that I lead. I don't think that I decided that I want to go into transportation when I started my professional life, but I'm certainly interested in public policy. There may have been other areas, either if it's in healthcare or in education. But once I've gotten into transportation, it's so much more than just about, moving people. Because being able to move people, it means it gives them a lot of opportunities. People have to choose where they live because they need to get to places, either going to work or going to school or going to a doctor's appointment. I mean, being able to get to places in a reasonable amount of time when you don't own a vehicle, or even when you own a vehicle, that you have another option to get to places, it's important. So really, it's just not just about transportation, about the economy, about people's mobility. And I think really just supports the decisions that they make in their everyday lives. And I think not to mention in terms of what public transportation means in terms of today's issue that we have to deal with, either with the environment, with climate change, the positive impact that public transportation, I think, has on that higher level, things that, we're all responsible for. So it really, I think, it speaks to sort of the impact that this industry brings to, I think, all of us and how it impacts so much more. Well, first of all, it's how to get them interested in the field. I think transportation is so much more. I think initially when I first tell people when I was my younger days, my more youthful days, people generally think, oh, do you drive for the bus? Or I have to tell them, I'm not driving the bus, nor am I driving the train. There's so much more in this field. There are people in finance, in communications, in engineering, and in the operations, logistics. There's so much more. I would say, kind of repeating some of the things I said in terms of how much transportation impacts, I think more than just moving people about, the climate, about the environment, about the economy. Do not be afraid. It's a wonderful field. It's okay to try it out. And it's okay to embrace something that may not seem like it familiar to you, but in terms of the impact that you're going to be able to make in people's lives, it's tremendous. And I would say, generally speaking, maybe into a field that someone might see, especially young girls, that may be male dominated. It's okay to come and have the courage to try new things, to make mistakes, because you learn from them and you can do better. And then really is whatever you can do to reach out to people that you can have to either mentor, to coach, to support you, because there's so many of us that just really wanted to bring on the next generation. I mean, we really need to have the next generation of leaders and professionals in this field to continue this mission that we have. So there was something that I shared in a recent interview that I've done. And, I think being just anyone, it doesn't really matter if you're a woman or a male. I think that just, looking for that opportunity, even though that may not be in the space that you may have confined yourself to, or maybe your supervisor or your boss that provided you. But to the extent that when there are opportunities, grab hold of it. Don't say to yourself, oh, that is so much more that I need to do, because I think once you're able to take on some new challenges and learn new things, it's something that while it may not even maybe get you to whatever new positions that you may aspire to, it's that, you learn that new experience, you get to learn from it. Even though it might be a mistake that you make, I still think that's always a good thing. And that's what I've always have strived to do, and that's what I have done throughout my career. It's not because I wanted to do a certain thing, because if you ask me this, whether or not I think that I'm going to be the CEO of SamTrans 20 plus years ago when I started here, I would never imagine that. But it is the willingness to learn, willingness to do new things, the willingness to always challenge myself, and that's kind of where it got me.